When Lionel Clegg saw Karen's chair was still empty a week after Christmas break, he knew something must be off with one of his best students.
So didn't really think nothing of it outside of maybe she's either taking an extended vacation or maybe she's sick.
We never interviewed the quiet, bright first grader during our year-long series about life at Woodlawn Elementary School. We did get some video of her while filming in Mr. Clegg's class at the beginning of the year, and here she is laughing with friends on school picture day. The 7-year-old is from Guatemala. Mr. Clegg always made sure to use the Hispanic pronunciation of her name.
Cotton was very shy. One thing I say in my class all the time is that leaders aren't quiet, so I expect her to speak out. And she would always talk with her hand over her mouth, and she knew you can't answer a question with me covering your mouth. So she got into the habit of doing that. And I began to see that light shine in her and that confidence build in her before Christmas break.
Woodlawn's secretary, Sandra Vasquez Luna, could see Karen's confidence growing.
I remember like it was yesterday when she came in to register. She didn't speak English, Dad didn't speak English. From last year to this year, that girl came long ways. She got her English so quickly.
Assistant Principal Alma Velasquez saw it too. Karen had been at Woodlawn since kindergarten.
And so she had been with us already over a year, established herself as a great student, a student who was making a lot of progress.
You know, we do awards, and we do have reading awards, writing awards, and math awards. She actually had the award for overall growth because she was thriving in all areas.
She never missed this many days of school.
After 10 days, our kids are kicked off of our roster if they haven't attended school. So I went to the office just to see, hey, have we called her house yet, just to see if anything's going on or what the deal is.
So then I started reaching out to people on her emergency contacts, and an aunt picked up, and she's the one that told me that they got deported after their court hearing.
She told me at that point that Cotton had been deported. So it hit me just like a ton of bricks because, again, I'm still working with my kids at the time, but just now I really couldn't think of anything but, you know, the things that maybe Cotton and her family are going through, and that was really hard.
I ended up calling the family that she has in town, and they did share with me that the family had been ordered to leave, and they left this month.
There was talk of deportation, sadness, and fear at Woodlawn those next few days.
It's not something that I even knew how to deal with. The first thing I was thinking was, how can we get her back? But again, never being faced with that situation, it just, again, came to the realization that basically she's gone.
Mr. Clegg didn't give details, but told his students, Karen's classmates, she wasn't coming back.
I simply told them that she's going to another school and she won't be with us anymore. There were a lot of kids just in that statement alone, you know, that were upset.
What went through your mind?
Am I next? How long will I have with my family? Just being a DACA recipient, I know I can be next. Sorry. It's hard.
Sandra was brought to the U.S. from Mexico before she was 1. Now she has 5 kids of her own. Her DACA, or Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals status, means she can live and work here for now. It's not a guarantee she can stay forever.
It's never been that close to us. It's never been where kids had to question, wait, where did Karen go? Or what happened to Karen? Or it's now starting to just the explanation of giving to the kids. It's hard on me.
Alma could also relate.
And this is a story that's personal to me. You know, my father was an undocumented immigrant. And so if it weren't for the fact that he took that risk me and my family would not be here right now. So I understand very well that people leave their countries for a number of reasons because they have no other choices. It's not a risk that you ever take lightly.
20% of students at Woodlawn are Hispanic, 14% are English learners. Woodlawn in every Portland public school has a very clear policy. They don't care about a student's immigration status. They will teach and provide a safe environment for every student in their school.
We don't ask any questions of our students. We never ask when they show up, do you have papers? That is not ever, the question that we ask is, how can I help? You know, what do you need? Because it's irrelevant. I don't see kids as, are you here with a legal status or not?
According to school board policy, immigration and customs enforcement officials can't enter a Portland public school without notifying the superintendent and district's general counsel in person first. If ICE enters Woodlawn, they go into lockdown. Portland Public Schools was one of many districts across the country to pass this type of policy in November of 2016 after President Trump was elected.
When this first really hit the fan, I believe last year, there were letters sent out informing our parents to, rest assured that we're not doing any special documentation checks or anything to that effect to make you leery or weary of bringing your children to school. So that's been something I've been very, again, confident and comfortable in, and a little overly confident and comfortable at this point. So.
If a family member says a student was deported, school officials would not investigate further or have any real way of finding out more information. Immigration proceedings are incredibly private. There's no public immigration court docket, no way to immediately access public records unless you know what's called an A number or alien number. ICE would not tell us anything about Karen because she's a minor. They did say Karen's dad, Miguel Gaspar, entered the country illegally in 2018 near the border between Mexico and New Mexico. He was caught by Border Patrol agents, released into the U.S. a few days later, and was being monitored by immigration officials through phone calls and in-person checks. ICE said Gaspar was not deported, but going through immigration proceedings and had a hearing next month. The judge at the last two immigration hearings ordered a voluntary removal, but he was granted a continuance. He sent Karen back to Guatemala before that third hearing. We don't know if Gaspar is still in the U.S. or back there too.
There's immigrant children in every school, and so this is not a unique story, sadly, that we lose children this way. Yeah.
Alma knows people will say Gaspar did this to himself and to Karen.
I think people who speak that way haven't had the need to find a better place for their family, haven't seen themselves in a situation where, they had to do something, because I am a mother, I am, like I said, an immigrant. I can't imagine that I wouldn't move everything for my child, that I wouldn't go to the ends of the earth to give her an opportunity that I thought she could have.
At Woodlawn, it doesn't make a difference if Karen and her dad were deported, facing deportation, or left because the weight of the unknown was just too much. Karen's gone, and so is the person she could have been here.
I seen a little girl grow up in a short amount of time, and I know the potential that she has.
I'm sorry this happened to her. That I hope she's well, and that we really cared about her and that we thought she was very special. That her friends miss her. That's what I would say.